Phoenix here, recapping match day 2 of the Club World Cup. If there were any haters before, where are you now? Are you still here? You're gonna claim you are after everything that we've just seen. Keep disrespecting this tournament. You're only disrespecting it because your club isn't in it. Admit it. Cowards. We have seen top class football with variations and European teams' arrogance being diminished, in particular by South American teams. You cannot claim this is not the biggest club competition in the world. And we've seen everything in match day 2. The tournament is only getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Let's get straight into it. We began on, Thursday now, with a Brazilian team again showing their dominance. Al Ahly, by the way, they're a good team. Let me make myself a bit bigger. They're a decent team. And Palmeiras in the second half blew them away. They'll go top of the group temporarily, but of course, the main drama happened in the evening. Inter Miami against Porto, down a goal, and then of course, two players in particular took over the match. Messi will get the headlines, and at this point, what is there to say? If he pulls it off, the 0.0001% chance that he pulls this off, he goes number 1 in the Ballon d'Or power ranking. Number 9 will be on its way. If you are arguing against that, you're a hater. If you're arguing against that, you're not a football fan. This is, like I mentioned earlier, the top level, and I cannot believe what I've seen from Messi, considering the teammates that he has to play with. Full credit to Inter Miami though. They surprised me. Porto are bad, but that free kick, as soon as it was given, let's be honest, everybody knew where it was going to go. Massive shout out to Busquets, by the way. He won't get the credit because, as always, right, he's used to it in his career, but he was the one in the second half that raised the level just like Messi did to ensure Inter Miami won the game. Look at what he done for the first goal as well that they scored. That's the kind of stuff that TikTok doesn't show you. You got to watch the full matches. Otherwise, you wouldn't get the full picture. So that's how this group currently stands. Palmeiras 1, Inter Miami 2, all to play for today. Then we shifted to Benfica versus Oakland, where it was worrying because it took a while until the first goal came. Benfica needed the goal difference. They got the goal difference. All on the last game now against Bayern. Boca Juniors going to have to win big in order to see if they can qualify. And then hope, of course, that Bayern beat Benfica and maybe more than a goal or two. Then we shifted to Group B. Atletico Madrid put on a very convincing performance as I expected them to, led by Barrios, who was absolutely sensational. They should have scored more. Full credit to Seattle, though. They came to play as well. But then the big upset came in the evening. The European champions stunned by the champions of Brazil, the champions of South America. And what this game showed me was everything that I've been kind of telling you guys already. PSG, yes, they rested players, but relax a little bit. Relax. They're not as good as you think you are, or as you think they are. Relax. Botafogo done everything that you need to do against them. Don't let them play. You got to be physical in midfield. You got to be aggressive. Get stuck in there and they'll fade and they'll collapse. The blueprint is there now. If you still have PSG favorites, that is fair enough, but make no mistake about it. If they want to go back-to-back European and world champions, they're going to have to up it up. Full credit to Botafogo. They defended well. They harassed PSG. And then the new Forest striker, Jesus, got the decisive goal. Now, this shakes up the entire group because Atletico Madrid are going to need to win by, I believe, 3 goals against Botafogo, which is going to be very, very tough. But we'll see. Atletico, like I told you, they are underrated in terms of how they attack. People still have this idea that they're a terrorist team, but they have goals in them. They're not what they used to be. It's a different Atletico. They struggle more defensively, to be honest with you, nowadays than they do actually offensively. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Then we shifted, of course, to Flamengo versus Chelsea. Sorry, incredible performance from Flamengo, and again, a very decisive message. The Europeans and the gap between the European teams and the South American teams is not as big as we think, but rather Flamengo were comfortably the better team. This is the sad reality for Chelsea. This is a Chelsea team, by the way, who have been playing fantastic. You know, they've been very good defensively. They finished the season very strongly. They won a European trophy. And they were second best to almost everything against Flamengo. It was remarkable to watch. For me, Flamengo are one of the favorites in this competition. I'm torn between them and Palmeiras, who's the best Brazilian team. Palmeiras look the more solid, but Flamengo have something extra about them, and they shown it well in the game against Chelsea. We'll get into the individual performances a bit later on, but for me, there's a clear message that I've been trying to get across for Chelsea. There's certain players here who you cannot trust. The goalkeeper, all well and good, but when it comes down to it, it's just like some games he's good, but the goalkeeper needs to be consistent. Then the mistakes come in. Malo Gusto, if I speak. Palmer, we'll get into him. And Jackson. I mentioned after the Newcastle game that, in my opinion, that should have been his last appearance in a Chelsea shirt. Here we are, him doing the exact same thing all over again. The Flamengo admin, by the way, sure had a lot of fun with this. Lovely banter to see. And Flamengo take full control now of the group. Chelsea against Esperance. They have work to do because, of course, Esperance themselves beat LAFC. LAFC, again, becoming known for being probably the most wasteful team in this competition. They haven't scored a goal. I have no idea how, but full credit to Esperance. Defensively, they're a very solid team. Group F, we had the game of the tournament. I fully enjoy watching Mamelodi Sundowns play. I told you guys before the tournament, they're going to be a team to watch. And Dortmund, forget about the result. They got big problems. Mamelodi were convincingly the better team, in my opinion. They just made individual errors, and that's what caused them. Fair play for playing the way you want to play, but against these type of teams, you got to be careful because you cannot give them goals. Joe Bellingham, though, looked good, got his first goal in a Dortmund shirt. Then, of course, came my team. Second match under Kivu. And again, we went down a goal. A goal that, well, ended up being really the only attempt that Urawa had in the whole game. But I kept saying throughout the game, stay calm, stay patient. I wasn't against what I was seeing. Yes, there's a big question mark around Kivu. We don't know exactly what he's capable of. But one thing already that we've seen that is different to Inzaghi is he is willing to chuck the young players on. And it was the young players that made the difference. Esposito and, of course, Carboni getting the winning goal. This group also becomes mega interesting now. It's very complicated. Basically, Inter, a draw is fine for them, any kind of draw. If Monterrey win, River Plate are going to have to draw 2-2 or beat Inter in order to go through. 2-2, both teams go through. The reason is the goal difference against Urawa gets completely cancelled out. So yeah, it's going to get complicated in this final match day. River and Monterrey themselves played a 0-0 draw. Solid defensive performance again from Monterrey, and River lacked the firepower to break them. What did I miss a game here? Of course, yeah, we had the Bayern versus Boca Juniors game. And South American teams have shown yet again that sure, European teams may beat them, but it's not going to be a blitz. No. It will not be an easy game. Bayern were the team I've been most impressed with, the team that I picked to win this entire competition. But the goal that Boca Juniors scored, that's very much similar to the goals that Bayern have been conceding. Those are the goals that I thought would be avoided once Jonathan Tah comes into the team. But he made a mistake. Stanisic got sent back in. But Upamecano will probably start now in the remainder of the tournament. So we'll see if Upamecano and Tah can form a better connection. And then, of course, Olise and Kane done what they do best. They got the goals. Bayern win the game in full control. Boca Juniors will now have to, I believe, yeah, beat Oakland by a certain amount in order to then potentially go through and hope that Bayern beat Benfica. Elsewhere here, we had Fluminense versus Ulsan. Again, the Brazilian team getting the job done. I think Fluminense are the weakest of the Brazilian teams, no disrespect to them, but they've shown that they can win from behind, and they're not discouraged. They kept going. 4 goals. Sure, Ulsan are not the strongest of teams, but again, they're going to be a team to watch out for because they're not going to make it easy for anybody. And then, of course, we've seen probably the team of the tournament so far. Juventus, again, displaying a very high level. With Juventus and City, we need to be careful because I can think they're up against 2 of the weakest teams in the competition. But there's no doubt that Juventus under Tudor have been cooking with a clear idea. They play a formation which gets the very best out of Yildiz, gets the very best out of Thuram, gets the very best out of Cambiaso. And it's these 3 players right here that are the difference makers for Juventus. Juventus and City will, of course, have a flat-out shootout now for the top spot. Juventus just about ahead on goal difference because they've scored 1 goal more. So City will have to win to top the group. In all likelihood, whoever finishes second will go up against Real Madrid, who, you know, I said Real Madrid will start very strong under Xabi. There was a poor game against Al Hilal. Then they started really bad against Pachuca, playing that crazy high line, almost Hansi Flick Barca-esque, which didn't really end up paying dividends. Asensio again with the red card. I just want to mention a couple of things here because, again, people will get a little bit too crazy. Like, yes, he looks distracted at the moment, no doubt about it. Both were soft, the penalty against Al Hilal and even the red card, right? There's barely any contact, but yes, he shouldn't put his hands on players. Maybe he's distracted with the allegations, but let's not forget what he's done for Real Madrid this season. I thought he had a fantastic season. Trent had a solid debut. This Garcia guy, very smart. We've seen Xabi ball from around minute 30 onwards, and it was fantastic to watch. Finally, a Real Madrid team with what seems like a clear identity. Bellingham and Goller ended up getting the goals. Valverde late on. But the 2 players, the 2 standout players, Courtois, of course, made an unbelievable amount of saves, only beaten by a deflection. But this, for me, this guy right here, is the star player. Bonafide superstar. If you pay close attention to how he plays, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Absolute cheat code with the ball. Reads the game very well. Incredible in anticipating. The sky is the limit. He can go on to be another Fernando Hierro, another Sergio Ramos for Real Madrid. But very, very impressed. To play against or with 10 men for the entire of the game, basically, it's not easy in those conditions, in the heat and everything. So full credit to Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso. And then, of course, the final 2 matches we've seen were Salzburg and Al Hilal drawing a 0-0 game. Not sure how that finished 0-0. Bono was fantastic for Al Hilal. I went with a Salzburg win. This group now means that Al Hilal have to beat Pachuca, and they're going to have to hope that Real Madrid beat Salzburg. If Real Madrid and Salzburg draw, it's going to depend, like the intergroup, what kind of draw it is. If it's 0-0, Al Hilal will go through because, again, remember, the goal difference against Pachuca will be completely invalidated. And if it's 1-1, I believe that Salzburg will go through. Or actually, then that gets mega complicated. 2-2, Salzburg, Real Madrid guarantees, like the intergroup, that both teams go through. But yeah, it's gonna get complex. We need to keep up to date with everything happening. But the snake Simone Inzaghi, I would love nothing more than to see his team get sent packing in the Club World Cup. We will be there. And the final appearance for those brave warriors like us who were up at 3 a.m. my time, Manchester City, New Look City, destroying Al Ain. Again, similar to Juventus. It's tough to tell from these games because Al Ain, they may be even worse than Oakland. But we've seen a New Look City. In possession, they built up in a 3-8. Nouri pushes up a lot. He had a very solid debut. And it looks like with the new, I think they'll get another right back as well here. Maybe Livramento, we'll see. It seems like Pep wants to do what he done in 2017, bring in the fullbacks. and maybe, who knows, go on to become Centurions again. Echeverry, massive shout out to him. You know how much I like him for that fantastic free kick. And even Cherki came off the bench to score his first Manchester City goal. And it was a very, very good display from City. The spoilers I will be given before the stream. I'll be spoiling the matches on YouTube for the knockout stages. But to know what's going to happen in these final group stage matches, just make sure you tune into the stream on YouTube and Twitch a bit before the game starts. As always, I can't leave you guys without making the team of the week and the flops. I went with Courtois in goal. Barreiro for Benfica was, of course, fantastic. Sergio Ramos having an unbelievable tournament. Huijsen, like I said, I was mega impressed with what I seen. Cambiaso for Juventus. Thuram, it suits him so well, this new formation. Barrios for Atletico is a special, special player. Gundogan had a fantastic game. Arias for Fluminense, incredible as well. By the way, the Palmeiras midfielder Rios was very, very unfortunate not to get into this team because he had a fantastic game. Yildiz looking like the player of the tournament so far. And of course, the greatest player to ever kick a ball with that incredible free kick in my team of the week. As for my flops, I put Asa, who was the goalkeeper for Al Ain. I mean, we all expected them to lose to City, but some of his positioning for some of those goals, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Malo Gusto, Chelsea fans, I've warned you about him. There's a big, big problem. He has been shocking in every game that you've played this season. I don't know why Maresca keeps playing him. Anton for Dortmund struggled massively. Beraldo for PSG is a grade A fraud. This is, of course, relative to expectations. So we're not going to really put players here who we're not expecting that much of, aside from some exceptions if they're really bad. Palmer, go on, Chelsea fans. Please tell me the last time he's had a good game if you set aside the second half in the Conference League final. I can't remember the last time Palmer's had a good game, but I get called a hater. I don't get it. I don't understand. Mora, I expected so much more from in that game, and we'll see if he can deliver in the final game. Enzo Fernandez, unfortunately for him, not a good game either. A common stay in our flops. Vinicius, oh, but why you put Vinicius' team on? Watch the game. He does nothing similar to Palmer. When's the last time he's had a good game? I cannot remember. I cannot recall. Not in 2025 at least. Desiree Doué, with the hype. Relax. I told you we made him look 10 times better than what he actually is. Bonanga missed a penalty for LAFC. And of course, up front, he only played 4 minutes, but he still finds a way to get into the flops. Nicholas Jackson, loser, grade A, fraud. I'll catch you guys in the streams.